皆さん、こんばんは、こんにちは、おはようございます。よろしくお願いします。Hi, what's up? So, today I'd like to talk about how you can learn Japanese as soon as possible without any books. So, how much you really have thought about learning new language in the fastest way? Why I'm obsessed with the fastest way? Because a lot of people actually study the new language for so many even hours or even years or decades, and they don't see the progress, and in the end of the day they just gave up because you don't want to study next 10 years and you don't want to see that you don't speak any new language. And especially I have taught more than 1,000 foreigners to be able to speak Japanese. I can tell you, Japanese language is the one of the most difficult language in the world. So as a native Japanese, learning English was also so difficult. Totally different culture, different languages, different actual way of communication. As a native Japanese, even we don't say, hey, yo, hey, what's up, hey, how's it going? We don't have that flow. We actually say, どうも、はじめまして。よろしくお願いします。お疲れ様です。お疲れ様でした。The way you talk, or even personality, I can say it's totally different. Now I'm speaking English. Terumi is the English version. It's me, Terumi. As a Japanese version, I feel like it's totally different person. So, how much are you really obsessed with this learning Japanese? And if you become fluent, there's so much opportunities, right? For example, of course, even you can make a Japanese girlfriend. You can do business networking with the Japanese business owners. Or even you can make a YouTube channel in Japanese. You can be another person in a Japanese YouTube channel. You can do something else. Or you can make a TikTok. Or even you can just start selling something to Japanese because you can really sell it. So there are tons of opportunity if you can speak Japanese confidently, fluently in front of people. And then, what is a reality? This is a common textbook. It's called Minna no Nihongo or the other textbook. There are so many ways, like even Duolingo, language apps, and textbook. And why I'm telling you why Japanese language is so difficult, because first of all, we have 50,000 characters, including hiragana, katakana, kanji. Means, your life is only 30,000 days if you just live the normal life until 100 years. So which means the number of character is more than life. So do you really want to wait to learn to write down Japanese characters over 30 years or 40 years, but still you cannot discover the whole characters? My question is, do you really have time to invest that amount of time into Japanese language? It's like you get married with Japanese, because otherwise you cannot, let's say, make even Japanese friends. You don't want to wait. So my question is, do you have time for that? Can you invest? And the other question is, what do you want to do with Japanese language? Because you actually can really spell it or recognize the Japanese characters. Doesn't mean you speak the language. There's so much actually confusion here. A lot of people expecting to be able to speak by book study. But be careful. There's no connection from here. Why? Try to ask yourself, when you learn native language, and you can look at your native language skills, your spelling skills or your communication skills, is it same? You can speak the language as a native person, like a native English speaker. It doesn't mean everybody good at the spelling. Let's say entrepreneur, spelling, pronunciation. It doesn't mean that you cannot pronounce or you cannot communicate with people, you cannot talk. You can talk, you can usually speak, but spelling is always difficult. And imagine Japanese language. Spelling, we have 50,000 characters. English is just only 26 characters, right? Imagine how many thousand times difficult to be good at spelling in Japanese. So I always ask when the people say, I want to learn Japanese. And my question is, what is the purpose? what is the purpose of learning Japanese? If anyone say, yeah, I want to make a friend, I want to communicate with people, I want to even make a Japanese girlfriend, I want to do business networking with the Japanese people, I want to meet the Japanese entrepreneurs, or even you want to do some business presentation, you want to sell something, you want to make a content in Japanese, you want to be a YouTuber in Japan, for example. Go for it with only speaking and communication training without writing, reading, which is without any books. And here, a lot of people ask me that is, how can I learn Japanese without any books? My answer is any native Japanese or any native children will never study from writing without speaking. You really need to think, when you are a baby, did you use textbook to learn the native language, or you just hear the parents or society every day, you could speak first than writing, reading, spelling. So obviously, of course, the babies cannot spell anything, but they can say, Mom, Dad, I want to eat those things. Of course, which is as a human, can learn any languages without any textbooks. So here, it needs a specific way to train your brain to be able to speak any languages without a textbook. By the way, me personally, I learned how to speak English, Greek, and beginner German after the age of 30. So I'm 37 years old. I can guarantee you, even if you're 40, 45, 50, you can learn any languages. The way you learn is the same. Of course, if you're younger, it's better because it's like you learn new sports. Like let's say you want to learn basketball, you can maybe quickly learn how to play basketball because it's like a brain and physically teenager is better than age 50 or 60. But I have seen a lot of over 60 or 70 people can play some sports. Means, of course, you can learn new language even if you're over 40, 50, 60. But it just maybe you feel a bit slower than teenager. But go back to the States or any native English speaker. There's not many children can speak 5, 6 languages. It's about environment, it's about decision too. So make sure it's not because of young generation can learn 10 languages, but you've never seen so much the children can speak so many languages. So it's not about the brain, it's about the environment or how to exercise or how to train your brain. Our question here is how to train our brain to be able to speak another language without textbook, without even reading or writing. So here, very simple answer is learning languages or being able to speak any languages is the same things how you learn your native language with your parents just by speaking. Or also you can actually rephrase it that the learning languages or being able to speak is like a singing a song by repeating many times. And the funny thing is being able to speak something confidently or being able to sing any songs confidently is about repetition. And it's the same way if you repeat it, you can actually do it. I can give you some example. Let's say you wanna ask Japanese person, what do you do for a living? You can say in English, what do you do for a living? But you cannot say in Japanese. The reason why is simply you just never say it. It's like you never sung Beyonce song, so you cannot sing the Beyonce song today. So what do you need is if you want to be able to sing a Beyonce song, you just need to sing every day. So let's go back to the phrase. If you want to be able to say, what do you do for a living? In Japanese, so here today is the first day you can actually sing a phrase, which is a sentences, is 何されてる方なんですか? Whoa, it's very quick, it's very fast. Okay, let's actually slow it down. 何されている方なんですか? 何されている方なんですか? Very quick, like a native. 何されている方なんですか? 何されている方なんですか? So you actually go to the bar. You saw this some nice person in Japan. 何されている方なんですか? What do you do for a living? Simple. Of course, the next step is to assume what the people actually answer. Because in English, you already can assume what the people will answer. I'm a teacher. I'm teaching English here. Or I am a high school teacher. Or I'm working in a company and actually my company is there. So something like that, you can assume usually people answer like this. You're not gonna freak out. Oh, what is this answer? Oh, of course. But what's happened because you never really talk in Japanese, you usually gonna freak out. 会社で働いてるんです。高校の教師です。学校で英語を教えてます。What? And you actually freak out and you feel like your learning Japanese is not successful because you didn't understand anything. And usually I ask, okay, how long have you been studying with any materials? And usually people say, everybody book study, textbook study, language apps, and all the things is I don't say this is really bad. It's just not helping your communication skills. There's no listening exercises. You cannot learn how to speak the language naturally. You cannot even learn how to make sentences. So, of course, if you don't know how to make sentences, probably your listening is really not good. So, pretty much even after 10 years of textbook study, still people cannot even hold 10 minutes conversation. Like every time freak out and they cannot answer. And it's over and over. It's same. It's everybody doing the textbook study and they probably can read something like some easy spelling and they cannot really communicate. So that's why you really need to train yourself precisely. As I mentioned, the learning language is very simple. Even the baby can learn any language. So simple, as I mentioned, it's the phrase. For example, 何されてる方なんですか? If you want to be able to say, of course you have to say. It's like a song. If you want to be able to sing Beyonce song, you need to sing same way like a Beyonce. And you need training. And repetition training is so important. And also the best is if you can receive any right feedback. You know, like usually your mommy, daddy said to you that, oh, don't say this word. Say this word. This is not nice word. Say this one. So which means usually children is the best environment they have that they are receiving the feedback all the time. Or when usually people studying with the textbook, they don't receive any feedback. So they thought that it's konnichiwa is the only one greeting in Japanese, but actually not. Konnichiwa is useless. You don't use it all the time, konnichiwa. But still, because the textbook teach you that way, and they just didn't learn other way. And that's why it keeps saying only konnichiwa for so many years. So the feedback is very important to quickly improve your language skills. So there are many factors. You know, the book study is not great and studying alone without feedback is not great. It's like you are a child who doesn't have even parents, so you cannot have any feedback. This is not great. You cannot learn fastest way. So there is a many way to learn language, but here if we focus on the fastest way, don't use textbook, use the common actual phrases and repeating and receiving the right feedback. And it's going to be an interaction. Yes, if I ask this one, usually people answer this one, how much you can recognize from listening, and then the next step is how much you can answer. So always I say learning language is very easy if you really know how to learn. But there's so much distraction from a lot of advertisement, right? Like language apps, XYZ, there's tons of language apps and tons of actually textbook on Amazon. So usually they study with the books or application. They're not good at making really conversation. So simply like this, if you really know the way you improve, I have done so many training from 0 level to be fluent in 2 months. And it's just very simple. You can learn any language like a baby. You really don't need complicated grammar things. Why? Because your native language, when you're speaking English or speaking your native language, you really don't focus on the grammar because the brain works how you listen all the time. Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? It's coming up what's up without even recognizing the grammar. So the brain is like working like this. It's a repetition and also muscle memory. This is actually your native language. If you can do the same training to the new language, you can improve. Much quicker, you can be very productive. So then you can conquer the one of the most difficult language in the world, which is Japanese. So here, learn language with the muscle memory and also repetition. Means learning language is like singing a song, especially if you want to focus on speaking new language. So singing, speaking, same. But watching TV, watching textbook, and just to listen to the music doesn't help. You really need to sing or really need to speak in the right way with the right feedback. Hi, I'm the owner of Japan Language Factory. So if you want to learn Japanese in just 2 months. To be able to speak Japanese confidently, sign up now, japanlanguagefactory.com/2 months.